Hello everyone! Today I wanted to bring to your attention quickly, if you don't already know, that from today, August 25th, until next Thursday, September 1st, there will be discounted costs for crafting. I also wanted to give my opinion on this event and a couple other updates really quickly before the end of this video, but for now, let's talk about what we can expect from this event. So, to get things started, throughout the entirety of the crafting week, you can expect a 20% increase to the fragments you will receive when recycling, as well as a 20% decrease to the fragment costs when creating a new loadout. The developers were kind enough to put together a couple charts to show what this change looks like on paper, so I'll throw them up for you to see for yourself. One thing that might stick out to you the most would be the fragment costs for recycling and crafting cobalt cards. They're actually the same, so this means that if you craft a cobalt card during this week that you don't like, or have some old cobalt cards that you would rather get rid of but couldn't find a good reason to scrap them previously, now is your chance to do that with a 1-to-1 conversion ratio. Now unfortunately the credit costs of crafting have not been affected during this week, so you will still have to pay a whopping 50,000 credits to convert them, but even still I think this is a great value deal. If you have, let's say, 250,000 credits saved up, then you have 5 whole chances to get your favorite cobalt card. Granted, you already had an old unwanted cobalt card to recycle, but like I said, I do think that this is a great value since even with the previous trade-in system, you would need a whole 2 cobalt cards and 24,000 credits instead of just the 1 cobalt card with 50,000 credits. And obviously a cobalt card is worth much more than the 26,000 credits you would be saving, so like I said, a really good deal. Now this event will only be lasting for 1 week, so be sure to take advantage of it while you still can, and every single day you can expect to receive a Merc Serve case drop just for logging in. The contents include what I'll show on screen now, from crafting kits and weapon kits to multiple equipment cases and some elite cases as well. Now I would rather not see the 5 times equipment case drops be part of this drop table considering how rare weapon kits actually are, and this is just taking away from your already difficult chances to obtain them. I think the majority of players would really rather increase their chances to receive these weapon or crafting kits instead of 5 practically guaranteed lead cards. It's almost like a slap in the face, but hey, I could be wrong, though I highly doubt I am. Now some other things I wanted to talk about were my opinions on casual matchmaking, as well as a slight response to this video posted by Splash Damage a little while back. If you haven't seen it, I recommend watching it before watching forwards, so I'll put links on screen as an annotation, as well as a link in the description of this video. So basically, from a video previous to the one I just linked, Shu describes and explains how casual matchmaking will work, stating that the system will take people who should be playing with each other together, allowing a lobby of near same skill leveled individuals to play together to give you a quality match in a timely manner. Now, I love the idea of this, and I actually can't wait for it, but I am worried that there aren't enough players in Dirty Bomb for this system to work as effectively as possible. If there are highly skilled players, they will have a much harder time finding matches. This is normal, however, for them to find matches without having to use the server browser, the system will have to expand its medium of skill levels from lowest to highest in order to accommodate for this, meaning games will still feature terrible teammates to accommodate for letting these highly skilled players into a lobby without forcing them to wait ages just to find a match. This is my prediction anyways, and I hope to be proven wrong because this game severely needs a casual matchmaking system. Either way though, I'll just be more than glad to actually be able to team up with my friends and queue for a game together. However, still, again, I'm predicting that lobbies might be difficult for us to find if, let's say, 1 or 2 of my friends I queue up with are much higher or much lower skilled than I am. Anyways, back on track with the actual video I mentioned, Shu tells us that Splash Damage plans on putting their focus back into objective and stopwatch game modes, which I fully appreciate because this is the core of the game and where focus should be placed anyways. I think that more emphasis should be placed onto prioritizing new maps for us to play on, as well as new game modes as well. This keeps things fresh so we don't get burnt out playing the same 5 maps over and over again, and Dome doesn't count. As for crafting, letting us know in advance wouldn't stop us from thinking of the system now as how it is. However, I do think that telling us in advance is a huge step in the right direction for any upcoming update. As it stands now, PTS members are the only people who know of any upcoming updates before they happen, and they are under NDA to not reveal or get feedback on that information from the public. As such, it is up to those members to be the voices of the community and give their opinions on these upcoming updates, and that may not always be taken into account considering the majority of players can't give their opinion on whatever it is at the time. though for the most part we are listened to. But I will admit that it seems like there are some who will just follow each change blindly and faithfully without giving constructive feedback on why it can be good or bad, which I think is hurtful to the development. Since if the devs are just hearing, oh yeah, that's good, without hearing feedback as to why you think it is good, or even bothering to give your opinion on how it can be improved further, is taking away from more quality development time before changes are launched, forcing things to be changed later on in the future after the current priority list is dealt with. Involving YouTube community members more often is actually something that I am 100% on board with, because in my opinion this allows for much more hype to be generated within the community itself and better relate with the audience. Since those YouTubers are players themselves, and since they are content creators, they can translate their feelings of why these changes can be good or bad on par with how other players feel, as well as giving their opinions and spreading proper information about these updates that may be miscommunicated from the devs to the player base directly. Not only that, but it also gives up-and-coming content creators recognition for their efforts as well as a boost to their presence. I don't think that only veteran Dirty Bomb content creators should be exclusive picks for these informational releases, but like I said, up-and-coming content creators who show promise should be given the opportunity to prove themselves and give their own takes and opinions on these things alongside the rest of us. And as for the week of discount on prices as a sort of apology and goodwill gesture, as Shu put it, I just don't think that's going to cut it. I understand that Splash Damage wants to say sorry for the system that they released that so many of us dislike, and that they don't seemingly want to change or improve the system further, though improvements can still yet be seen down the line, and I pray every day for this. I just don't think a single week of discounts is going to cut it. The thing about the new system is that golds and silvers are very much so less attractive to craft. The straight up large credit costs to craft anything is bad for veteran and especially paying customers, forcing them to either play for much longer to save up enough credits or spend even more money than previously on crafting kits, and we don't get those little diamonds in the rough that we used to get with the old system. I've made like 3 videos talking about the new system and why it's bad, so I'll spare you the headache of listening to me rant about it again, but those are the 3 biggest reasons why I think putting a band-aid over the system for a week just to have it ripped off again is not going to cut it. But a free case with a crafting kit or weapon kit just for logging in though? Yes, please. Although, like I said earlier, I still think that adding those 5 times equipment cases to the drop table is a bit of a cock slap to the face, but hey, that's just me. It's not just me. Another point I'd like to add is that this discount week should not be just a one-time thing. There should be a few weeks each year where we can take part in something like this. Maybe 1 week every 3 to 4 months can be set aside for something like this, and while we're on the topic of weekly crafting events, there's still no option for us to recycle our unused or unwanted event cards, so I would like to propose a week that allows us to gain an entirely new type of currency that works exactly how fragments work now, but for event cards instead. I would love to see a 3-to-2 conversion ratio, but if this is even considered, I think most of us would settle for a 3-to-1 conversion ratio, as long as we get the opportunity to rid ourselves of the awful loadouts and duplicates we've accumulated from events. In a perfect system, we would be able to choose from which event we would like to craft our new loadout for, but only if we've actually taken part in that event. For example, if we recycle 2 What the Dickens event cards as well as 1 Containment War card, we would only be able to use the fragments received to craft either a What the Dickens or Containment War card. I say this because if you didn't get the chance to take part in another event, you missed your chance. But when, if trading is ever implemented, we would be able to trade for those cards anyways. At least I would hope we would be able to, so I don't know. If Splash Damage ever considers this idea for recycling cards, it's up to them to decide. But I really think that my idea is a good one, so if you've watched this far and you agree, please let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are on being able to recycle and craft your old unwanted event cards into new ones. Anyways, I'm working on my next video, which I'm sure most people will be more than happy to hear is the next installment in the Level Up series, which I think is only going to be the results from 8 levels this time. I was hoping to make it 10 levels this time around since the last episode was only 5 levels and I wanted to double that, but I just can't bring myself to play for that long considering how much I hate the new crafting system. And the series was primarily focused on how many good cards I can get while trading up with the credit and equipment case drop rewards from my levels completed. So I'll be streaming starting today until I complete the 8th and final level, and then take advantage of the discounted crafting prices while I still can. This will be the first and probably the only time I ever use the crafting system, so if you want to watch and take part in this before I release the video, be sure to follow me over on Twitch, link will be in the description, and that'll be it for this video. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. But until then, as always, take care, everyone.